my love. There's only you in my life, the only thing that's right.
My first love, you're every breath that I take, you're every step I make.
I want to share all my love with you.
No one else will do. And
Your eyes, they tell me how much you care.
yes,
You will always be my endless two hearts that beat as one. Our lives have just begun.
forever I'll hold you close in my arms.
I can't resist your charms.
I'll be there for you, I'm sure. You know I don't mind. 'Cause you mean the world to me. Oh, I know I found in you my endless
I'll be that fool for you, I'm sure.
You know I don't mind.
You know I don't mind.
Yes, you'll be the only one.
'Cause no one can deny this love inside. I'll give it all to you, my endless
My endless love.
my endless
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Sanctuary Chapel to celebrate the life of Alan Trapnell. The Sanctuary is a peaceful and tranquil space, and we overlook this beautiful lake. During the service, we may see some beautiful ducks come gliding through, and 99% of the time they will come through during the photo presentation. It is with the greatest respect for not only the family, but for the recording of this service that the phones must be turned off. Don? If a phone does ring during this service, the family has suggested that the owner of that phone will find themselves in the lake. Trust me, the lake is very cold. Or run fast. So I'll just give you a moment to all, please, out of respect for the family, please switch your phones off. So today, not only will we celebrate the life of Alan, but also to honour his memory and to give thanks for his amazing and wonderful life. He was a kind and very gentle man and was obviously so well loved. Look at this beautiful amount of people that are here today to celebrate his life. Alan was aged just shy of his 90th birthday. And for those of you who have joined us via live streaming, we welcome you here today, and wherever you may be, we hope that you feel as much a part of this service here today as those that are present. When someone is taken from us, as Alan has, understandably are we not so comfortable with the words and phrases that point to a celebration of a life. But hidden in all of your pain and your sorrow, there is undeniably something to celebrate. We can celebrate the fact that we have known Alan, and though he is no longer with us, we can celebrate that we were privileged and honoured to have had him and have known him all of our lives. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sue Ballantyne. On behalf of Megan and Deb from Carlisle Family Funerals, we'd just like to say thank you to the family. I won't be looking at you today, Jen, but thank you so much for entrusting Alan into our care. It's been an absolute privilege and an honour, and to lead you through today's ceremony. Today we unite together by our common love for this man and, of course, our common respect. And the importance of coming together as family and friends cannot be underestimated. We give support to each other in all facets of our lives, but we appreciate so much the support that we give to each other during and life's challenges. And so whilst we have our own approaches to life and death, we use opportunities like today to support each other and give thanks for those that have touched our lives. And so today, we give thanks for having had Alan in your lives. And we will say goodbye to him today in a very respectful way. So on behalf of Alan's wife, Floss, his children, their partners and grandchildren, again, I warmly welcome each and every one of you here today. And so whilst we think of him with sadness, and today we do, however, let us recall his wonderful life with gratitude and love and celebrate and embrace Alan Trapnell. When I sat down to write this ceremony, I was reflecting on some of the words that the family used. They described Alan to me as very generous of heart. He was kind, tall and strong, and very gentle. He had a great sense of humour, of which many funny stories were shared with me. But by far, he was a true family man and a great friend. Alan was very creative, and you will notice this remarkable, outstanding cart on his coffin today, which he patiently and meticulously made. This cart won many prizes. It was the best of the best. He could do absolutely anything. He built a few carts over the years, and each time he entered them, he won. In fact, if this one had have been entered over and over again, it would have won over and over again, but you can only win that one prize in this one particular competition. Alan was also a very competent painter. If you had the privilege of visiting his home, you will have noticed the murals on the garage doors and in the backyard. Very artistic. Glenn will speak more about his dad's accomplishments later on during the ceremony. Alan was amazing and loving husband to Floss. They were married for an amazing 69 years, and Jen said that they never argued. They loved each other so much. Through sickness and in health, Floss cared for Alan from the moment they met until his death last week. She cared for him at their family home in Narre Warren, and never once did this woman complain. Alan was her world, and she did whatever it took to make sure that he was so well looked after. Alan and Floss were the perfect role models for their children, and they were a great example of the perfect couple to everyone around them. Alan's pride and joy and his greatest achievement were the birth of his 3 beautiful children, Glenn, Steve, the favourite, and only daughter, Jen. Alan welcomed all his children's partners, Louise, Heather and John, with open arms and an open heart. The arrival of grandchildren was also a blessing to Alan and Floss. He adored all 7 of them, again their partners who all affectionately called him Poppy. Anita, Jared, Shane, Jacinta, Alana, Gavin and Jane. His legacy grew again with the arrival of 16 great-grandchildren. Deacon, Indy, Amelia, Caitlin, Sarah, James, Ashton, Willow, Lacey, Bay, Eli, Ethan, Billy, Eva, Mason and May. What an amazing legacy this man has left behind. The family have chosen some beautiful readings, and I would like to invite Alan's grandchildren, Gerard and Jane, to come forward and read these to you. So Jane and Gerard, thank you.
The Lord said to Moses, I have filled him with the Spirit of God, with ability and intelligence, with knowledge and all craftsmanship, to devise artistic designs, to work in gold, silver and bronze, in cutting stones for setting, and in carving wood, to work in every craft. I have filled him with skill to work all manner of workmanship done by carpenter or by an artisan or by a designer. He is able to do all kinds of work by any sort of workman or skilled designer or inventor. Eternal rest grant unto him, O Lord, and let your perpetual light shine upon him. May his soul and the souls of all the faithful departed rest in peace.
God saw you getting tired, and a cure was not to be. So he put his arms around you and whispered, come to me. With tearful eyes we watched you and saw you pass away. And although we love you dearly, we know you could not make you stay. A golden heart stopped beating, hard-working hands at rest. Your ideal life has been fulfilled. To us, you were the best.
Thank you, Jared and Jane. So now we're going to light a candle, and whilst we do, we're going to be listening to a beautiful piece of music called How Do I Live by Leanne Rhymes. So I will invite the family to come forward. We light these candles for a few reasons. In any celebration of life, the candle represents our hope, our love, our courage, and of course, our endless love. So as the family come forward, please sit back and relax while we listen to How Do I Live by Leanne Rhymes.
How do I get through a night without you? If I had to live without you, what kind of life would that be? Oh,
So may the flames guide Alan on his way home to wherever he may be. And the last candle that I lit was for everybody else present. So now we're going to be listening to some beautiful tributes from the grandchildren. I'd like to invite Alana to come forward, and she's going to pay her tribute to her grandfather. Thanks, Alana. I've got it here. Oh, you've got it for me.
Last Tuesday, we said goodbye to the most kind, caring, talented and loving humans. I can honestly say that you left a lasting impression on everyone that you met. Whether they only knew you for a very short time or for a lifetime, everyone you met spoke so highly of you. If everyone in this world could be a little bit more like you, this world would be a much better place. The achievements you made over the years with your talents were incredible, and all your family was so proud of you. We were so proud to show off your work to anyone and everyone. It was a struggle watching you over the past week, but I'm glad you are at peace now. To my Nan, the strength that you have shown, over the past week, sitting beside your husband's bed and holding his hand until the very end. You are so strong. Doing all this and then having to lay your sister at rest in the same week. My heart aches watching you. You were so lucky to get to spend 74 amazing years with him, having 3 children, then one of them creating me. I really have the best grandparents, and I'm so lucky and proud to call you mine. I could go on and on, but I'll stop now. But just know how loved you are and how special you are to everyone. You may feel empty, but we are all here to fill that empty spot that he left you. This is one of those reminders to make those special memories, be happy, take photos, and tell your loved ones how much they mean to you. As Pop said, never go to sleep on a fight. Such wise words we should all learn from. I have so many wonderful memories and photos to look back on of my Pop. Someone asked me, how do I write the words that I write? I replied, it comes from my heart. But the truth is, it's easy to write beautiful words when you're writing them about beautiful people. May this beautiful person rest peacefully now.
Thank you, Alana. Can I just say it's very hard to stand up here and show such raw emotion and such beautiful words, and Floss, you should be very proud of your grandchildren. Very beautiful. Thank you, Alana. Now we're going to invite Indy, Deacon and Amelia to come forward to pay their tributes for their Pop. Do you want to come up, sweetie?
Hi everyone, my name's Amelia Trapnell. Alan, or Poppy as I knew him, was my great-grandfather. A lot of people never get to meet their great-grandparents, and I'll always be grateful that I was able to share 11 years of my life with him and make lots of great memories. Poppy had a unique sense of taste, and through choice he never tried several types of food that we all take for granted and eat on a daily basis. Some things he deliberately never ate include spaghetti, pizza, tomato sauce, Vegemite and peanut butter. Poppy was a great man and was kind, helpful, patient and had the greatest craftsmanship many of us will ever see. He made the suit he got married to Nana in. He made Jane's dollhouse that currently lives at Ulma and Papa's house. And he built their first family home in Bentley East, which still lives there today. He also added some features to their house in Narre Warren, which some of you may have seen, including a hidden room, several pieces of furniture and a big mural on their garage. His legacy will live on through his children, grandchildren and great-grandchildren, as well as through the many things he carefully made. Thank you for being a part of my life, Poppy. We'll all miss you.
Just making it a bit bigger.
My name is Caitlin and I'm 9 years old. Poppy was my great-grandfather. I remember visiting Nana and Poppy's house many times when I was growing up. One of the things we did was play in the outdoor area in the backyard. Poppy told us that there were 2 hidden places that we could try and find them. We found one next to the fishing pond where Poppy's dark room full of pretty paintings, and the other was on the wall art where one of the doors actually opened to a little supply closet. I am lucky to have a few things in our house that Poppy created. My bed frame was built from wood and there is a dolphin carved at the bottom of it. Poppy also gave me a beautiful dollhouse for my birthday and it is almost as big as me. I feel very lucky to have had a great-grandfather as clever as my Poppy, but sadly he has left us and is in a better place.
Sorry. Our Pop was a very intelligent, loving and strong man. He was pretty naughty occasionally. One night I was on the phone to Nan and she told me that Pop had put his shoes on by himself and he put them on the wrong feet. Nan was trying to help him take them off. She finally got them off and he took all of the laces out and Nan had to sit there for ages and put them back in. When I was born, he made me this beautiful doll's house for me. It has a lot of fine details on it, which one day I hope I could pass on to my little girl. He was a very artistic and creative man. Every time I went to Nan and Pop's house, he was always working on a new painting. His paintings were always spot on. When Pop got sick and went into hospital, everything got worse and worse. My Nan and Nanny are the 2 strongest ladies I know. They sat in the hospital with Pop every minute, every second, until Pop peacefully passed away. I'm very grateful that I got to grow up with you, Pop. You'll forever have a spot in my heart, a big spot. Love you forever.
Pop, you always made me so happy when I came over to see you. We'd always feed the fish. We'd put a little bit of food on the end of the fishing rod and pretend the little man was fishing. You'd show me around your secret art room and we'd look at all the pieces you'd done and the ones you were working on. Then we'd look at all the photos you had taken, especially the ones of me when I was born. When you first went into hospital, Mum and I were so worried. We wanted to come and see you as fast as possible, but unfortunately the doctors weren't letting people in. Eventually they were, and that night I couldn't sleep. I was just waiting for Mum to get home so I could ask how you were. You fought hard for almost a week, and then when we got the worst possible news, you had passed. We were all very emotional and sad. We rushed over to your house to comfort Nan. Pop, your eyes will be remembered, and if I grow up to have even half of your talents, I will be a very lucky man.
Well, I'm sure that Alan would be very, very proud of his great-grandchildren and the parents. How beautiful. So thank you so much. I'd like to invite Glenn, Alan's son, to come forward to read Alan's eulogy on behalf of the family, and this will lead us into a beautiful photo presentation that the family has amazingly put together. And the music accompanying the photos is I Still Can't Say Goodbye by Chet Atkins and You Raise Me Up by Josh Groban. So now let's open the book on Alan's life and enter the year 1932. And if I'd like to ask Glenn to come forward. Thank you, Glenn.
From natural birth to natural death, with a good 90 years in between. You can't ask for much more than that, eh? Well, we got a lot more. Our family was blessed with the best husband and father we could have hoped for. Gentle, talented, loving and generous. In short, we won the lottery with our parents. Alan was born in Melbourne, 6th of June 1932, to Jack and Ethel Trapnell, the youngest brother of Ron and Frank. They grew up in Nearham Road, Caulfield. After leaving school, he began an apprenticeship as a tailor, even making his own wedding suit. Then a stint doing upholstery in a pram factory. The experience here led to Dad and his brother Frank making golf buggies in the garage. Many of those sold through Myer stores. In 1953, Alan and Floss married, having met through the wedding of their older siblings, Frank and Dorothy. Frank, already a carpenter, was joined by Alan, firstly building our home in East Bentley, a partnership that continued for some 25 years. They were good times working with his brother and fun times with many practical jokes. Once Alan and Frank were up on the roof when two workers from another house came onto their site to wash their tools and hands. Dad whispered to Frank, "Oi, I know those blokes. I'll hide while you tell them to bugger off. Then I will come out." Uncle Frank stood up. "Oi, you two, get out of there, bugger off." But of course Dad didn't know them and stayed hidden. Another time, Alec, Frank and Dad were building a house frame, but Alec had a bad case of the squirts and would often run to the thunderbox. Dad nailed the lid shut with a single strike to a 3-inch nail. Alec's suspicions were placated with an explanation of redback. Soon Alec felt the urge and ran to the dunny, dropping his tool belt and hammer on the way. "Oh no!" Then Alec running back out to get his hammer. I'll leave you to imagine the rest. It was a fairly natural progression that Dad would then run his own business, appropriately named Trapnell's. Working not with his brother now, but with his son Stephen, with Floss running the office. In the midst of all this fun, Mum and Dad had 3 children, Glenn, Steve and Jenny. Home and the garage workshop was his happy place. Leisure activities were squash, starting in a team with Jeff Hunt, who went on to become world number 1. Dad won the Australian Masters in squash in 1992, but after injuring his arm in a fall, turned to social table tennis with myself and his grandson Jared until he fell and broke his hip. And running concurrent with all this was Dad's prolific creative talent, much of which is shown in books you may view later. But of particular note are the carts and wagons, each winning first prize at the Royal Melbourne Show. You don't have enough time for me to list all his creations: the paintings, the photography and darkroom, dolls' houses, furniture, leatherwork, gazebos, etc., etc. I can remember a time when Dad had only ever been to Melbourne, Sydney and the road in between. That's it. But when he got the travel bug, he got it good. First came a road trip to West Coast America and Mexico with his niece Yvonne and Paul. Then his nephew Don really took him out of his comfort zone with trips to the battlefields of France and Belgium, including the dawn service at Villers-Bretonneux, where Alan's father had fought in World War I. They went camping in Swags near Alice Springs, where Dad woke Don up in the middle of the night saying, "Look at all the stars." They went hiking in Kakadu. And on a road trip from Darwin through Cairns, Green Island and Townsville. Dad and Don had a relationship more like brothers or best friends than uncle and nephew. The holidays continued with the river cruise of Amsterdam, Zurich and Paris with Floss, Jenny and John, plus numerous cruises, bus trips with the Senior Citizens Club. Life was a hoot. From small seeds to big trees grow. At last count, Floss and Alan have 3 children, 7 grandchildren, 16 grandchildren and 1 black cat, all of whom they both love. Happily married for 69 years, Mum and Dad lived in their own home in Narre Warren until a recent infection saw him in hospital, from which he did not recover. Those who know Dad also know he was a perfectionist. If something was worth doing, then it was worth doing well. Some 50 years ago, Dad and I were listening to the radio and a guitar player was making that zzz, zzz, zzz sound, sliding his fingers along the strings. Dad said this was lazy and amateurish and that Chet Atkins does not do that. He never mentioned the subject again, and I didn't know who Chet Atkins was. Until a few days ago, when we were asked to pick songs for Dad's funeral. On the strength of one comment half a century ago, we randomly played one of his tracks. I don't think we selected this song you're about to hear, but Dad chose it for us.
When I was young, my dad would say, "Come on, son, let's go out and play." Sometimes it seems like yesterday. Then I'd climb up the closet shelf when I was all by myself, grab his hat and fix the brim, pretending I was him. No matter how hard I try, no matter how many tears I cry, no matter how many years go by, I still can't say goodbye. He always took care of Mom and me. We all cut down a Christmas tree. He always had some time for me. Wind blows through the trees, street lights, they still shine bright. Most things are the same, but I miss my dad tonight. I walk by a Salvation Army store, saw a hat like my daddy wore, tried it on when I walked in, still trying to be like him. No matter how hard I try, no matter how many years go by, no matter how many tears I cry, I still can't say goodbye. still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. Raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be.
What beautiful memories. In fact, if you had a really close look, 99% of the time he was smiling, except behind those, looked like a prison wall. But every other photo, he was smiling, and especially around his family. So many things that he did over his life. It was absolutely beautiful. So I'd just like to say to everybody here today, you have been remembering with love and gratitude a life now ended. Let's leave here today mindful that at the end of life, what really matters is not what we brought, but what we built. Not what we had, but what we shared. Not our competence, but our character. And not our success, but our significance. Live a life that matters and fill it full of life. Alan certainly has done that in abundance. Soon we're all going to leave this chapel and we're going to return to our own very busy lives. So let's make ourselves a promise. And Lana touched on this a little bit before. Let's live our lives to the fullest. Let's love each other without holding back. and express ourselves honestly to those in life that are precious to us, because life is so short. The greatest testimony to his memory is to make the most of your lives now. So live every day as if it was your last, because tomorrow is not promised. As Alana said, take the photos, hold on to the memories, look after each other. We've shared some time reflecting on Ellen's life today. However, it is now time for us to prepare to say our final farewell. To say goodbye as you do now is one of the most difficult things that life asks of you. You are parting from a man who has been a large part of your life. The special ways that Alan influenced your lives, the values which were so important to him, and the wonderful legacy that he leaves behind will be forever in your minds, your hearts, and of course in your souls. So in closing, family and friends, we have had the opportunity to share wonderful moments of Alan's life, the gifts that he brought his family and his extraordinary circle of friends, the richness of his talents for people, his connections, and his love of life. He was so loved, and he will never be forgotten. He was a true fighter in every respect of the word, and he fought hard. However, on Tuesday, the 26th of April, 2022, Alan passed away surrounded by his loving family. He is now at peace. Life is not measured by the breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away. Now the time has come to farewell his earthly body and to commit it to nature in all of its cycles, and we now close the book on Alan's life. Again, thank you all so much for being here today in the chapel, and for those of you live streaming, thank you so much for joining us today. In just a moment, I'm going to ask you to stand as we play the last closing piece of music. But before we do, the family's asked me just to mention a few things to you. The family have warmly invited each and every one of you to join them for light refreshments here at the Bunurong function rooms. So if you have some time, please stay back, have a hot cup of tea or coffee, or go buy a glass of wine. Share some more beautiful memories of this amazing man and your stories, and really reunite with each other. And lastly, the family extend their gratitude to those who have consistently supported them through this tough time, and they want you to know that it has been a tremendous comfort. So thank you all from the bottom of their hearts. And thank you for no phones going off in today's service. It was great. For those of you who are able to, can I ask you please to be upstanding as we say our final farewell. As the family will escort Alan to the awaiting hearse, Don and I will lead Alan's coffin out. Can I please ask everyone then to please follow the family out to the foyer, where Alan will then be taken for private cremation. Alan, you have lived 89 precious years on this earth. You have loved and supported your family right throughout your life, and in return, they have loved and supported you to the end. Let's live our lives with gratitude for Alan's love. His physical body is no longer with us, but his spirit and his love lives on in all who knew him. Alan, your life we honour. Your departure we unfortunately accept, but your memory we will always cherish. Tenderly and reverently, we commit the body of Alan Trapnell to the elements, grateful for the life that has been lived and for all that life has meant to us. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. In the cycle of life and death, the earth is nourished and life is eternally renewed. It is with great love, everlasting admiration and respect that we farewell you now as you take your leave from us. But the love that you leave behind will live for all eternity. Rest now at the end of your days, Alan. Your work is done.
When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark. the sweet silver song of love. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, for your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never when you walk through a storm.